Don't know where it goes. I'm on a road. Follow your heart. It won't let you down. Follow your heart. Take the steps beyond your way. Take the steps. When you have a dream, you gotta start. It's the only way. If you're gonna shine, and you're gonna shine, shine, shine. You're gonna shine. And we are shining bright. We are not just shining. It is like steamy. We are at the beginning of this huge heat wave on the ranch. And I know Billy is ready with his coffee and donuts, but I don't know, Billy. It's like an iced tea, ice cream kind of day. Don't you think? Sitting there with a big bowl of ice cream. You know, you can't sing after, it's not great for singing after a bowl of ice cream, but when it's hot and steamy like this, that's what I'm thinking about. Too many ice creameries. All right, we have a great show for you. As you know, I am spanning the globe for the best Americana country indie music, right? And we have people from all over. Oh, wait a minute. Someone else, copy guy, is running for the ice cream as we speak. Yes, that is the type of day. It's going to be this way all week, too. So we are spanning the globe for some great Americana music. And last week, we had people checking in from Ivory Coast, Africa. We had some great people lining up. So, and our guests have been from Canada, United States, Europe. There's a time difference, and I appreciate they stay up late to do the show. So tonight, we're not quite going that far. We have some great artists with you. His name is Juke Johnson. So let's welcome Juke to the ranch.
Howdy, folks. Thanks, Randie. How you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. Welcome.
I'm ready for some ice cream. Is that what this is about?
Like, how Galaxy, I'll give them a shout out. Galaxy 107 FM. That's like a day time difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we always go back and forth and like send each other pictures of ice cream and like they're eating in New Zealand ice cream and I send them what I have.
Torture. It's hot.
I know. It's hot. I mean, it's hot up here. Juke, where are you hailing from these days?
I'm in Maryland. I'm on the eastern shore of Maryland. It's starting to heat up. I think it's the coolest day is going to be today. It was about 90, I think, or close to it. But it's supposed to get pretty sticky, after today.
Yeah, because I'm just north of you in Pennsylvania, and this morning it wasn't so hot, but then all of a sudden the humidity kicked in, and it was like bang.
Yep.
But they're
great this morning. Little wind blowing.
Yeah.
But now it's here.
Yeah. I always feel bad for my dog who doesn't like walking on the concrete gets so hot for their paws.
It's that time of the year in July. We're gonna get some July heat this week.
In June.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what July heat's gonna look like.
It'll let you know.
We'll be doing a swamp music in July and August. That's what we're gonna be doing. Swamp music.
I love summer though. Even with the heat, I'll take this over the cold and nice and snow.
Any day. I know it's hot and I feel bad for my dog, but I don't mind sitting out on my patio I love it.
Yeah, good excuse to go to the beach.
That's it. You far from the beach?
Not too far. I'm right on the eastern shore of Maryland, so I got a lot of water near me.
Oh,
I'm pretty close to the water. Not far from me, and I'm not that far from Ocean City, Maryland, and Rehoboth. Right on the border of Maryland, Delaware, and Pennsylvania, right up there at the top. So pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, and you are a fellow ISA member, so we've been traveling in the same circles.
Yeah. I've been a part of, I think, since around the first year. So yeah, I've been around for a while, and I've seen you around. I mean, we've gotten so big now. It's so many people now, but in the early days, it was, just a few people. It's really grown.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched it too. I've been a member for quite some time. Um, and now they're up to over 16,000 members.
Yeah, it's really great to see. It's a good thing. It's a great organization, and like you say, she started it from nothing, and I mean, it's some of the greatest artists around. I think are in it. I mean,
And they've got some talent. They have some
yeah,
talent. Those of you listening, we talk about ISA is the International Singer-Songwriter Association, which is actually centered out of Atlanta, Georgia.
yep.
But they started, I think it was just right before COVID, right?
Yeah, it started. It started a couple years, I think, before COVID. I don't know exactly. I think I want to say like 19, maybe.
Okay.
Uh, right around that time. So still fairly young, but it's growing fast, and I think you know it's just a lot of talent in one spot. I mean, I think it's kind of like where things are going. Is it was the perfect timing for something like this, with the
Mm.
way the state of music right now over the past decades. You
Oh,
know, so it's
and it
awesome.
is because the indie artist is really blossoming right now, and they
Yeah.
have a lot of resources, but they don't have a lot of support. So
Now,
when you find an organization like ISA, it's so nice to just network with people, like-minded people, and just
100%. The old days, you have to, know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and you might get lucky. But when you have an organization like that, we have not only just artists, you have radio personality, you have television people, you have songwriters, and you get to network with people, you get to know people from online, and it's a lot of opportunity. Back when I started, you had to find the information, or had to know someone, had to go buy a book, and possibly maybe you know those days are all gone. I mean, so this is probably the greatest, like I say, in terms of networking. And if you're an artist, especially a young artist, I mean,
Mhm.
I point young artists to ISA all the time, because the amount of resources and just people in general is, and it doesn't matter what genre. It's not just one genre. It's every genre you can think of, from all across the world, not just America, not just the US. It's international. So yeah, it's a great organization. I'm a rep actually for Baltimore area. I'm about an hour and a half from Baltimore. I'm originally from
Mm.
Baltimore. So I've been a rep for Baltimore for, well, 4 or 5 years at least. And it's been great.
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity because you do have the reps in the smaller regions that are organizing events and putting things
Yeah,
together and working hard, you
yeah,
know, organizing us for indie artists,
yeah.
that
It's great. I mean, you get everybody. You can be as active as you want to be, but it's also great for. I look at it as great for the young talent, that they have resources, because it's a different world now. It's the music business and everything else. Nothing's the same as it was before. So if you want to get connected, this is a great way to do that. And if you're just coming up and you're just learning, it's a great resource for that as well.
right, and I think that's the name of the game is for us indie artists is to kind of network, you know,
Yeah,
uh, because there's a lot of resources. I'll give Blast 24/7, who produces this show. If you go to their site, you could log in, make an account, put your music up there, and there's all kinds of podcasts and networking opportunities and things like that.
yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
met them at ISA.
definitely. I mean, look, I've met a whole lot of great songwriters and singers. I mean, even in this last project that I just completed, 7 or 8 other co-writers, and all of them I've met probably through ISO or through online, through someone who knows someone else. And that's kind of how it works, is getting out there and meeting people, and sharpening your tool, and learning. And the best way to learn is to kind of just jump in, and there's a lot of people out there that they might just write lyrics. They may
Mm.
not do anything, So they're looking for singers and they're looking for people who play instruments. So it's a great networking. I would say anybody who's in entertainment, or looking to be, if not already, then you definitely want to check out ISA, because it's growing every year. It's getting bigger and bigger, and great award ceremony which happens in August. I don't know if you're going, Randy. Are you going this year?
I am.
Oh, good. We'll have to meet there. I'm planning on.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be there. And I haven't had a chance to go off all the years. I even won the gold in 21 and wasn't there. I think that one might have been pandemic year. So this will be my first time going and seeing a whole lot of people I've known for years now.
That's going to be an amazing time. I was actually there last year for the first time, and that's when I
Awesome.
met, an amazing cast of people. And I won the bronze for video of the year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm up again for a few this year.
Yeah, cool. Well, maybe we'll both win. I'm up for 9 this year, I think. 9.
Oh
So
my goodness.
I like to come in with one. Be nice.
Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
I am getting some text that we have echo. Now I turned down on my end.
I'm gonna turn on mine.
Yeah, I think it's when I'm talking coming through your end. I'm hearing it.
Yeah, it's probably my microphone. I'm gonna turn my microphone. Hopefully I don't lose it. Hopefully that's better.
I had a problem before.
You still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay. I turned the mic away from the computer. So
Right, maybe
hopefully,
away from the speaker because it's
yeah, that's probably what's going on.
yeah. Well, hell, let me know if that's any better. Tech's a fickle thing these days. So I turned down a little bit, you turned down a little bit. So hopefully we won't have that echo, and hopefully you can still understand, what we're saying. So let's talk about the great music that you're winning awards for. Now, is there a song that's up this year?
Yeah, there's actually we got one of the videos, the video that's up for video of the year. It's also for song of the year. It's called "Think It Over Twice," and I think I sent you one of those to play tonight. So yeah, this song's written by Michael Blaymore and Tommy Eubanks, two great writers. I've actually done a few of their songs, and this is the first song I think I did of theirs, and it's a great song. So we're got our fingers crossed.
How'd you connect with them?
I connected with them actually online. I think they saw me online somewhere, and a lot of cases, other songwriters will hear something from me and go, "Hey, I write songs, and we're looking for a singer, and we think, and they'll send me a few songs." That like this writing team, they sent me, I think initially sent me some songs, and I said, "Look, I'll listen to them. I won't guarantee I'll sing any of them, but I'll listen." And I think the first wave I didn't do anything, and I think the second time they came back through, and this is one of the songs they sent, and I said, "I like that song. I'd love to cut it," and it just turned out awesome. I mean, they're great songwriters. I've actually worked with Tommy on a couple co-writes. I've sang quite a few of their songs over the past couple of years, so we think this one turned out great, and so I put this as one of the ones on my album.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Now, when you're doing someone else's songs and they're right there with you, is there added pressure with that?
Well, yeah, I think it is, because I'm a songwriter too, and I kind of, it depends on who you write. I actually work with a lot of different songwriters now. I didn't start off that way. I started off as a songwriter myself, but as I've gotten more mature and I've realized that I just enjoy interpretation in songs. So, and a great way to do that is to take people's songs and to put my added interpretation to them, or put my style into it. And I find it sometimes you come up with some great songs. In a lot of ways, sometimes it changes the dynamics of the song. And so I've been fortunate enough to work with quite a few writers that give me the liberty to just say, "Hey, just take it and do what you do with it." And I've been doing that, and it's been a lot of fun. So I work with several, I mean, probably up to about 10 different co-writers, and I write my own stuff as well.
Mhm.
And I'm getting songs on a pretty regular basis from people. And sometimes I go, hey, you know what? This is for me. I'll cut it. And sometimes they're like, that doesn't, I don't, I'm not really feeling it. So, um, it's great. I mean, there's a lot of songwriters out here that don't necessarily sing or perform, but they're great songwriters. And
Yeah.
over the past few years, I've been fortunate enough to have attracted a few great ones. Like Roy August, who's I've done a few of his songs. He's got some songs on the album as well, and he's been around for a while. And he's even written some stuff for the Oak Ridge Boys and stuff like that. So it's a great mix of great talented songwriters that I'm working with, and I'm just excited.
All right. It was a couple people watching us tonight. Let's see what they think of Think It Over Twice.
That western sky was blazing as we sat on the porch. But Daddy's eyes burned through me just like a torch. Son, I know you're leaving, your mama will be grieving. So let me give you some advice, think it over twice. Think it over twice, his words burning in my mind. This road that I'm traveling is not the easy kind. It's filled with hurt and sorrow and every sort of vice. As tears mixed with memories, think it over twice. Before you pack up and go, head out on that lonely road. Won't you think about your choice? Listen to that inner voice. Life is harder than it seems. You can get lost in your dreams. Even a fool can take advice. Think it over twice. Think it over twice. His words burning in my mind. This road that I'm traveling on is not the easy kind. It's filled with hurt and sorrow and every sort of vice. As tears mixed with memories, think it over twice. That old farm sure looks different from so far away. I'd trade 1,000 tomorrows for one chance at yesterday. To sit back on that porch and hear my daddy's voice. His words cut like a knife. Think it over twice. Life is harder than it seems. You can get lost in your dreams. Even a fool can take advice. Think it over twice. Even a fool can take advice. Think it over twice.
All right, and we are back on the branch. This is going across 7 platforms, and we are even on a Roku TV now, which I'm really excited about. We are produced by Blast Music 24/7. Troy giving you a shout out tonight, my producer, who makes sure everything is all set up spiffy, and we have the right dates and everything. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, Pure Latent track. Liked it. That was cooking, that track.
Thank you.
I love shooting video. I mean, as much as I love writing songs, I almost like shooting video. I have a blast. That video is percolating. I thought you meant percolating. Mr. Copy guy. All right, I'm just saying. I thought it was a typo. I gotcha. All right. So the video, that image was very dramatic. Just think twice. So did you have anything to do with setting up that video?
I just hire a person to do it. I hire a person to do it, and in some cases, like that video, as I hire him and I give him a storyline, and I say, hey, just like sometimes people do with me with music, they say, here's the music, here's the lyrics, have at it. And that's kind of like I like to do videos sometimes, because it kind of gives it a different perspective sometimes. And sometimes you don't think about some of the different meanings a song can have. while you're singing it, or sometimes while you're writing it. So I did the same thing with that. I was, I, gave them the song and said, hey, this is kind of what I think it means. What do you think it means? Here, have at it. And they just what they came back with, and we were like quite pleased. The songwriters were quite pleased with it as well. So universal.
Right. So, because they actually had to paint a wall, and I know sometimes I have trouble getting locations. Yeah, alone, taking over a wall like that.
Well, that's what things stress me about music. I'm a musician, and I can sing, I feel comfortable doing songwriting and recording and doing all those things. But when it comes to video, it's real. I'm so out of my comfort zone. I've done a few, and I think I will play some tonight, but
Yeah.
I am never comfortable with it. I just let the director say, "Tell me what you want me to do." So, if you have the talent to do videos and you feel comfortable with it, God bless you. I mean, me, I feel so out of my comfort zone, but they are great for the music. I mean, they do. They do help promote.
Right. But to your point, even just showing alternate meanings, what
Right.
it means to one person isn't always what it means to another person.
100%.
And Billy said, that dog will hunt, that twice, think that, and when I think twice, I kind of do think about running away and decisions that you make and things that you say, graffiti that you put on a wall, or,
Right.
it can go a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it's very universal. I always love song. This song, I loved it when I first heard it because it's so simple. It's so simple, and I think anybody, no matter who you are, how old you are, where you're from, what your background is, you can relate to this song because we've all have come of age, or come along, and where we've learned things, and that we learn to not make quick decisions, or to think about things a little bit more thoroughly, at least before we make decisions. And I think it's such a universal song, and it's that I thought that anybody can definitely relate to, and I think so. I think the amount of people that have contacted me and said, I love that song. It's just hits me right here, and then they tell you their story, and it's not something you would think about. So that's the great thing about music is you can have something in mind when you write a song, and then somebody else, 10 other people will hear 10 other different things. And that's great.
And it is great. Especially when you have that simple line, just think twice, and you could really, give it a good hook, give it a little backstory that, people can relate to. The simplest things in music usually are the most effective, a nice, you paint a little portrait and then, hit them with what it means in the chorus,
Well, this song I think it has it all. It's great lyrics. They're meaningful. Music is awesome. The track was done. I mean, musicianship is great, and it's it's jumpy. It makes you want to move. It's kind of hard to keep still if you're listening to it. So it has all the key ingredients, and it's simple. It's nothing hard about it, and I think that's what a lot of people will find it. The greatest songs are just so simple, and and I think this song has all of it. These guys are great writers.
I'm gonna my inner geek is gonna show right now because I love horror movies. Okay. And the best horror movie I think ever is have you ever seen 28 Days of Night?
I don't think so.
Okay. If you like horror movies, if not, this won't apply. But somebody finally said, why don't vampires go up to Alaska where there's dark all the time?
What? That makes sense. It's simple, right?
Holy cow, it's about time, of course. They don't feel a cold. What do they care? They're just going to run amok, And it's the same concept with music. When you take a little gem and say, of course, that is the greatest thing ever. It's so simple. It's right in front of you all the time.
It's always funny though when it comes to music. Sometimes when you think you know what a song means, I'm not talking about songs you do yourself, songs you grew up with, you've been singing all your life, and you're like, you know that's about this, but then you hear something from the artist who cut the song or wrote it, and it's like totally has nothing to do with what you think it has to do with.
There's actually a website or pages and pages of like Facebook sites on music that don't mean what you think.
Right.
A lot of European music too, they have little idioms that we don't get. The song Pretty in Pink is not a nice song.
Right.
But to them, it's very cheeky.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs like that. I think I can't remember the song, but it was a song that people play at their wedding, and the person, you probably know what I'm talking about. And the writer says that song's not even a love song; it's the opposite of a love song. So it's just the perspective and what we get out of it. I think that's what makes art great, is that you see one thing means 50 things, different things to different people because of their filters, how they live their life and what they think. And that's a great thing about art in general,
And I think I heard an interview by the artist it's a band, they have this song, and they say they cringe every time they hear it used at a wedding. They get all these emails and Facebook posts, and they're tagged in it, and they're like, what? Have you really listened?
Right. No one listens through it or goes through the song. They just love the song so much. And I guess they assume it was a love song. I can't even think of the name of the song or the artist at this time.
But I know what you're thinking of. There's a song by Fun too. And what they don't understand is I'll carry you home tonight is the song.
Right.
And they're not together because he beat her. He hit her and she has a scar. It's in the first verse. And everyone's like, oh, this is so fun. I'll carry you home. What a great guy. And I'm like, are you listening to the lyrics, people?
Yeah.
I can't even get through this song.
There's some people that listen to, there's some people that are lyrics people, and there's some people that are just melody.
Yeah,
if the melody's good, they're great. They don't care what the lyrics say if it all matches. So, it's a little bit something for everybody. I mean, everybody gets something a little different out of it.
What do we got? People are chiming in here. Every Breath You Take by the and the one I Love by REM are not love songs.
Right. There's they're great examples, whoever that is.
Yeah, Copy Guy, Paul's an encyclopedia of like music.
Yep.
And then we have Bill saying perception is everything. And
you're right. Perception is everything.
If you're walking along and you like the beat and you're just listening to a few words in the hook, maybe that's all you need and you like the song. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all good.
I mean, it's a lot of songs out here like that where people think one way, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, or sometimes it doesn't even mean anything. But people will associate a meaning with it based on their life.
Now, actually, that's a great segue into your next song, which is Pandemic Song. I actually wrote a few pandemic songs that I did not come out and label pandemic songs. I wanted people to, because sidewalks, I have a song about, I love sidewalks. I go out and I travel. But to me, it's because I couldn't travel.
Right.
That I wrote the song, so what tell us about Pandemic Song.
Well, mine is pretty simple. I mean, it was really just about me, just my experience during the pandemic, like everybody else's, where you were basically closed in, and for musicians, perspective is you're really isolated because you don't have people to make music with. You kind of just doing your own thing. So it was mainly about the experience of the pandemic, my own experience, but I think it was millions of people's experience that the isolation that you felt. And, I think we learned something about ourselves during that period of time that we probably would have never known, or would have taken us longer to figure out, because, how some of us just don't do well in those isolated areas. And I don't think people are designed to be isolated like that. And so I just one day, just, as I normally do, that's the only song I have that I wrote about the pandemic. And it was just mainly about my own experiences, but I figured I wasn't the only one having that experience. So when I contacted the one guy who created the video for me, he was actually, pandemic is pretty much going on. We did it, and it was kind of perfect for him, and he filmed it. It's in Europe somewhere where it was filmed, and I guess he had no issue with getting background and finding locations. because it was still a lot of stuff shut down at the time. So
Oh, I had to beg my photographer to go out because I had an album
yeah,
I wanted to come out and I needed video. And I finally promised the social distance and wear a mask in between sets, and he was, got it done. But it was interesting all the way around recording.
yeah, it's crazy.
You really, and I wound up using more. I usually use studio musicians, but I use more than usual because
Yeah.
I needed work. Like, okay, let's put some pedal steel on there.
Oh, it's great. I mean,
throw a banjo in there.
a lot of music was written during the pandemic. I know I wrote a lot of stuff during that period of time because I had a lot of time on my hands. And you're right, there was a lot of musicians I use are across the country. Stuff is being recorded, East, West Coast, and I live on the East Coast, stuff everywhere, they just send me their parts. I send them the tracks and they send me the stuff. So I was doing that before the pandemic, but we're doing a lot more of it during that time because it was, people wanted stuff to do.
Yeah, people wanted stuff to do. I'm
Yeah.
finding different ways to get it there, and discovered WeTransfer and other
Yeah, definitely.
files that needed to be gotten. So, all right, let's listen to the pandemic song.
Never dreamed the life we live, of the fear that comes tomorrow. Thought your world was free and clear. The loneliness, the sorrow, 'cause people need human touch. Our salvation is not isolation, it's love. We belong to this day. Let faith guide your tomorrow. Wear your love like a breastplate. Don't let it into your head. Wear your helmet of hope. Never thought in a million years we'd be begging just to borrow, standing in line for the basics to live, acting like there's no tomorrow. And people need human touch. Our salvation is not isolation, it's love. We belong to this day. Let faith guide your tomorrow.
I don't think I would get on a bus during the pandemic. But anyway, welcome back to the ranch. We are going across 7 platforms. You know, if you're watching tonight and you like what you see, you know what? Don't cost you anything to like the page. You know, share it with your friends, spread the love. We are spanning the globe to bring you the best in Americana music, and we're bringing it tonight with Juke Johnson here with me. Oh, we got some comments, some people liking this song. What do we got? Best and cheap viewers. Oh, well, goodbye. All right. Copy guy. Nice John Howard vibes on that
Oh,
one.
thank you. A compliment.
All right.
John Hyde's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, I don't know. Somebody's advertising on my site. I don't like that.
Yeah, they love to troll, don't they? These advertising.
You know, no worries. No worries. No worries. Okay. So the pandemic, there are certain places that skeeved me out. Public bathrooms. Like even when I work in a school as a crisis counselor, and I didn't like going like the all day. Like it was not good, and I wouldn't go on like buses or things like that.
Oh, I wish I could say I the same, but I didn't. I actually work at a university, and during that pandemic, we still did a lot of stuff that a lot of people wouldn't have done. I actually take the train into Philly pretty often, and even during the pandemic, I was doing it. And I knock on find some wood. I've never gotten this the coronavirus that I know of.
Oh my goodness!
I think some people just don't get it. That must be one of them.
I made it almost to the end.
Really?
And then there was a family Christmas event, and 2 days later, so I was like, I almost made it.
Almost made it.
Yeah, I had it once.
I was fortunate, at least if I did have it, I didn't know I had it. So
yeah,
no.
Yeah, I was checking pretty regularly. Well, you know, with the schools too. I don't know about your university, but we had to keep up on everything.
Yeah, we did too. I had to go through the same thing. It was a crazy time. I'm so glad it's over.
But the aftermath of it isn't a whole lot of fun either.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think some people never will get back to what we consider normal. I think, unfortunately, there's some young folks that probably won't ever know the difference because they kind of come up through this during it. I feel sorry for them because of what they're going to miss out on, because life has definitely changed for a lot of folks since that's happened. I mean, I still see people wearing masks regularly. Sometimes I still see people are very cautious about being in groups of people, which it's unfortunate because, I think like the song says, I think people need people, and you need to be interacting with people. And when you're not, it just makes I think it just makes the word a little tougher because we just don't get used to interacting with people, which is great. Being a musician, music, and one thing that music does is bring people together.
It brings people together. We really lost that, and we lose it streaming.
Yeah,
streaming
we do.
It's not going anywhere, but the live isn't what it used to be.
No, it's never going to be because technology has made it so convenient for us. I mean, think about it. There are some plus sides to it in terms of, some financial things and what you can do now. Please think we could talk from anywhere in the world right now. We can play music from anywhere in the world. 20 years ago, you couldn't do that. I mean, so there's some pluses to it, but the minuses are you miss that interaction. I mean, 5 or 6 people getting in a room and just playing live music. There's nothing that really takes the place of that, or you just can't. And I think there's going to be possibly a generation that doesn't experience it as much. I mean, it's still happening, but not on the level that it used to before.
Right.
And I don't think it'll ever go back. Just technology just makes things too much easier to do this.
Right. But we miss that socialization that goes with it that people don't even know they're missing. You know?
You don't know what you don't know. I mean, so as time goes on, it just makes it makes my life easier. As I can do a lot of music from home, which is great because the old days, we had to travel and we go in the studio, we're there all night. You got to travel home. You got to, hire people. So you don't have to do a lot of stuff. Technology has made it definitely easier for these, especially indie artists, to be able to do music and do it on a high level. So
Right. I mean, it has been great for indie artists. We are
yeah,
now competing with some major record labels. We have 40% of the market. You
well,
know,
definitely, it's not going back. That's for sure. I mean, it's
right?
needed to happen. These companies, the big conglomerates, have way too much control over music. And I think right now they're struggling because the indie piece of the pie has gotten so big. I mean, it's big, it's good, it's bad because there's so much music now, though you can get lost, but
Yeah.
you have access to it and you don't have to go through some big company to get it. And so there's goods and there's bad things that go with it, but
Right.
it's here to
Right.
stay.
We need people that love to explore and find new music.
Yeah,
You
yeah. I
know,
mean, I see, I mean, I'm sure you do too. We see a lot of people that come like, where that person comes from. You find them online, and there's some very talented people. The most talented people that you see now are not signed with anyone. They're not making records with Warner Brothers or Capitol.
right. I reached out to an artist to try to get him on the show because he's purposely not signing.
Oh
And
yeah,
I know artists who have had big record deals and won't do it anymore,
makes no sense to do that.
you know,
Yeah,
because they get so little in return. If you
it's so
control
little,
your own and know what you're doing,
right?
you can capitalize on that piece of the pie.
Well, it's and also it boils down to control of your music, what you can do and what you can't do. Once you get these companies, you have less control because if it does well, then you get stick with what does well, and you can't leave. You don't get off of that. You stay there. So
So, but you know what? I can't even tell you how many years ago. That's about 10 years ago when I decided to do a solo project. I went to a Taxi Road rally. I don't know if you're familiar with Taxi.
yeah,
They do a lot of sync licensing and things like that.
yeah,
But I went to one of their road rallies, and the big mantra is it's all about the song.
it is. It's true.
It still comes down to, yes, there are a lot of indie artists and a lot of different styles, but it all comes down to the song.
That's 100% true. I mean, to me, the most important part of what I do is a song. That's why over the last decade. It's why I use a lot of other songwriters. I seek out other songwriters because it it's really about the song, and it doesn't matter at the end of the day how good you are if you don't have the songs. And I'm always looking for the next best song, whether it's me writing it or someone else writing it. So I always tell people all the time when they say, "Hey, I got the song. Would you be interested in doing it?" I said, "Let me listen to it," because I've been blown away. I mean, of course, you get a lot of stuff and you go, "Oh, it doesn't fit. It's not,
Right.
sorry, I can't." But you get there's some talented people out here writing music, and they
Right.
don't have enough venues to put their music. So I encourage a lot more of these indie artists to try to work with other songwriters as much as possible, because that's what these big record companies did back in the day when they developed artists. They got the best songwriters together and they put together music once they found the talent. I think we still have to do that as indie artists. We have to put together the best team that we can to put together the best music we can, because it's still highly competitive.
It
People,
is. And if people are going to fall short, it's a good song that's not well produced.
it's true. It's true. It's
There's
very
too
tough.
much music out there. You can't just sing into your iPhone anymore.
Oh yeah, you definitely can't, because the
You're
technology
going
is
to cut it.
everybody's spoiled too, because you can
Yeah.
make good music. I mean, like I say, all the stuff you hear from me, I've done at home. So it didn't start off that way. And I started by doing it myself, probably around 98. Uh, um, I started recording it my own, at home. So I had to learn, and I had to make a lot of bad recordings, had to do a lot of terrible stuff first, just like writing songs. You start off writing a lot of songs, and they're usually pretty bad, pretty terrible.
Mhm.
And it takes hundreds. And then you finally start to get the niche. Same with recording. But you also have to know that you're going to need help. You're going to need a team of people. No one can be all things. I mean, I play some instruments and I sing, but there's times I have to have other people play things because I know that they're better at it, and I want to give the best representation of the song that I can. Because you only get one shot.
Yeah.
When people hear it, they go, "Oh, it's terrible." Even if it's a good song and it doesn't sound good, or it gives it a disadvantage. So I try to like a fielding a team. I want to put the best thing on the field I can, and that requires a team. And that no matter how you're an indie artist or not, you still need help. You're going to need help. You're going to need people. For sure.
You're gonna need people. Although you do appear in this last video, please stay.
I do. I have some with me in it. I don't really like doing them, but I will. I'm planning to do another one, hopefully this summer, and I'll be in it. I'll try.
Billy thinks that's smart advice. It's all about the team. And indie artists have learned we're better when we stick together.
100%.
I don't compete with people. I want to help people. And, it goes around,
Well, you learn that you're not, look, I don't care who you are. There's always going to be somebody you're going to look at and go, "Oh my gosh, that person's so good. I should just quit today."
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to be that way. You can be intimidated, but it's really about, it's really about being the best that you can be with you. Because I'm telling you, it's just like anything else. People's acquired tastes are different. Whoever you might think is the greatest singer or the greatest guitar player, somebody else will disagree with you and say, "No, I like this person better." So you always have to keep that in mind. But there are some, there's a lot of talent out there that shouldn't discourage you. That should encourage you to get better and want to do something better. I'm very competitive in that way too. I want to make sure that when I put something out there that people are going to, hey, it sounds good. It's, so I think it just should make you better. Shouldn't discourage you to not make music or not want to do it. It should encourage you to get better at it. And what do I have to do to get to that level? And if you do that, you're always going to get better. You're going to just get better and better and better.
You don't grow if you don't challenge yourself.
100%. And trust me, we all have to. Even as singers, people say, "I don't know how to sing." It's like, why? You have to go out on a limb. That means you have to sing stuff that probably might not sound great, or you have to make mistakes. You have to, play a guitar. You have to make mistakes. You have to be bad at it a long while before you become good at it. And then you're always going to hear somebody that's going to be better. And you're going to be like, "Wow, that person's so good. I don't even want to pick up this guitar." No, they should go, "Wow, they're so good. I need to go back and work on this part." So I always tell people, look, you shouldn't be discouraged. You should be encouraged to go, "Wow." In most cases, some people it's God-given talent. I tell people all the time, some things are just God-given talent. You don't learn those things. And we see people like that all the time where it's like, you can study all, you're never going to sound like that person because it's a God-given talent. But in most cases, you can learn just about anything.
All right, we're going to listen to "Please Stay."
I showed up for.
This is 90.5 WKHS, and I'm out of here for the night. But before I leave, I'm going to leave you with a track from Juke Johnson. This is from his new CD, Simple Things, and the track is called "Please Stay." So good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Subconsciously, 20 years has gone by. I always wonder what it could have been. There she is, looking like the perfect woman I know. it's a dream, but it's okay. It feels real, 'cause I have it every night. And it always ends with me asking you to stay. I often wonder what you're doing now. It's one of life's big mysteries. I have your picture etched in my brain. You were just 17. There she is, looking like the perfect woman. I know it's a dream, but it's okay. It feels real, 'cause I have it every night. And I get down on my knees and ask you, please stay. So when I find you, will you feel the same way? Is this some fantasy in my head? There she is, looking like a perfect woman. I know it's a dream, but it's okay. It feels real, 'cause I have it every night. And it always ends with me asking you to stay. Then my picture of you starts to fade. Please stay. Please stay.
Right, that was Juke Johnson and Please Stay. We are broadcasting on Blast Music 24/7. We are going across 7 platforms, and we will be on Roku TV. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, tonight. We have a really good show. Now, Please Stay. I mean, you've been thinking about this girl for 20 years. Was it a relationship, or did you lose somebody?
Yeah, actually, that song, I was like one of those deals. I think it's a combination of something where you start off with an idea of something that happens to you or something relates to you, but then when you start writing the song, you just kind of start embellishing it to where it goes. So I don't consider it to be a true story. I think it's just one of those deals where I kind of use some different parts of my life to do it. But it was a fun song. It was music was done by another by a lady who was a very talented producer, and she sent it to me. It's been quite a few years ago, and hey, something you can do with that. So I just wrote some lyrics at that time, and it came out with that, and it kind of worked. So
Is that your screaming lead in there?
no, I wish it was mine. No, it's actually no. It's not. I didn't play any instruments in that particular song at all. All I did was do the vocals on that. And that's, that some of the songs I've done, I play instruments in it, like the Pandemic song before. I played most of the instruments in that. And Think It Over Twice, I didn't do any of the track on that. That was done in the studio. And then they send me the track and I put the vocals in. So it's a very, I do it differently. It depends on the song, what's going on at that particular time. And that's one of the things I was saying about, it's like really about the song. What's the best way to kind of approach the song? Sometimes it's better just to go, I'm going to send it to the studio and have them cut it. I'll send them a demo of it, me playing it acoustic and saying, here's the instruments I want. Have at it, because you got better chance of the song, being a better song if that track, is better, and I can put the vocals in my home.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. So we only have a few more minutes left. You playing out live? What's coming up next, Juke?
Well, I don't have anything live going on. I've been pretty busy doing a lot of different things, but I did just release this Living for the Day CD. It's the first really hard disc that I've done in quite a few years. I've been doing just digital only for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years now. So I decided this time I was going to actually put a CD out. Think about maybe doing some vinyl, just because I kind of miss it. I kind of miss having, sounding kind of old, physical copies of stuff. And I think I had some people that would contact me, say, "Hey, do you have anything that you could send us?" So this time around, I did some CDs. I might think about doing some vinyl. Got some posters.
I put out CDs too, because I like to have them, like to autograph them, even if it's just a souvenir for people. I realize I can no longer even play my CDs. My computer CD no longer works, but I still have to have it.
Yeah, it's probably just we're from that era of physical.
Physical.
But there's a lot of people, though. Believe it or not, there are still people playing CDs, and I have a record player. I play records still.
I have a record player too.
But there's people. I think it's kind of coming back around. I think with the records, I'm noticing a lot of young people are buying records. So hey, awesome.
And it's a huge share of the market. It has really, really grown.
They say it's the biggest. I think this year was the largest vinyl record sales, I think, in a long time, 25 years or something crazy.
Yeah.
So hey, I like that trend.
Because they're souvenirs, I guess. You
got a physical look. Long after you're gone, you have something. We have albums, something to look at. But when you stream, you get digital. You never have nothing physical. It's all on the computer. You don't have anything. So
talk about what old school. You don't know what you don't know. You hear something that's streaming, and you're like, "Oh, what a great song!" But if you listen to it on a CD or an album, and you actually hear it, but it's not compressed and squished to smithereens, it's actually a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, you can hear all I call it's the texture of it. Song very hard to hear the texture of a song in digital. So records and albums and other stuff you can have texture to it. You can actually feel the song. It sometimes sounds different.
Guys, we have a few more minutes. Guys, you watching? Do you still buy CDs? Do you buy records? Or are you just downloading or just streaming? So we get 0.0003 cents when you stream.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother show, right?
I don't even want to go there. I have some IMs that have been going back and forth, and I can't even do it anymore. I'm over it.
Oh yeah, I tell you, I was talking to somebody the other day about the reports I get about money, and from 100,000 streams, what you get from that. It's ridiculous, but it's the nature of the business that we're in now. It's like you got to make you got to make money other ways, because you're definitely not going to make it on sales. This is
streaming. 1% of the music business makes money streaming. The rest of us, we're it'd have to be so much. I can't fathom how many millions you would need to actually make money off of streaming. Right.
But hey, it is what it is. And like I say, the business has evolved.
Right.
It ain't going back.
No, it's not going back. You evolve, and you have to. There's other ways to do it, through syncs, through live performances.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways, and still music's music. We're going to continue to make music until we can't make music. And Randie, I really appreciate your invite tonight. It was great.
Thank you very much. Awesome. We had a great audience. Billy really liked the show, so thank you very much. Paul is watching. We have some other people who are just listening in, coming and going. That's awesome. Always glad to have you here. This is The Ranch. We're here every Monday night at 7 Eastern time. So I hope to see you again, and we'll catch you next week.
Good night.
Wait, we got a little I'm on the road, don't know where it goes. I'm on a road, follow your take those steps beyond your way.